I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean. No longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love, those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug, those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean. No longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean. No longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for you.
About that time, y'all. About that time. All right, good evening. I know it's Friday night. I know NBA Finals are going on. I don't care. Thank you for being here, guys. If we get 100 people in the room tonight, we have more ratings than the NBA Finals. I'm convinced. If we get 100 people in here tonight, let me know we got more ratings than the NBA Finals. That's just the way it goes. So, shout out to everybody who's here early. You guys already know the way the show works. You ask me questions only on YouTube. Put it in the chat one time and one time only. I will get to it. If you're asking me questions on TikTok, stop the nonsense. Get to YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. Let's go. So, before we get the show started, I want to tell you guys, I woke up this morning, went for my 5-mile run. No big deal, because I'm a machine. I'm 6 foot, 235 pounds, and I run every day. I don't think it's a workout, bro. I go out in the wilderness because I'm an apex predator, and I do simulated hunts. I simulate like I'm hunting something, and that's why I run. Some of you guys can't relate. Coach JB can't relate. That dude ain't never left his house for 1 second. He smokes on cigars and abuses dogs. Just letting you know. Nonetheless, I then made a video talking about the Eagles draft this morning. And Eagles fans are upset. Eagles fans are upset. They're convinced they had the best draft of all time. I'm convinced it was substandard at best. Probably terrible. Shout out to Jalen Carter and all the other Bulldogs they drafted, the guys with terrible work ethic, they kept saying to me, pull it up, prove it that he has poor work ethic. What coach said this? What coach said this? And it's like, guys, do I make stuff up? Who's been following me? Do I make stuff up? Jalen Carter. Let's go character concerns. I could pick any one. I could pick any one of these stories. Well, which one said the coach? Which one had a coach saying he had poor work ethic? Oh, you said so-and-so had poor work ethic. Bro, I read it. I didn't make it up. Don't make me pull it up. It'll get ugly. Just letting you know. So nonetheless, Eagles fans have been in crisis mode all day. If you guys have noticed, I didn't make much content for the last 48 hours. I've been watching the hell out of track and field. If you guys want to see something amazing, now I have ESPN Plus, so it's on demand for me. But if you don't have ESPN Plus, you got ESPN 2? I think it's on ESPN 2. The national championships for track and field are occurring today. They're going tomorrow. They're over multiple days. You should have been watching the prelims for the last couple of weeks now. It is phenomenal track and field. Some amazing storylines. I don't even take time to make videos on it because I'm so lost and enamored with it. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm having a blast with this thing. Okay? But tonight, before I get into your questions, I'm going to let you know the theme of the show. It's pretty simple. Coach Prime, in one of these well-off videos that just came out, Coach Prime said, I want 2 defensive linemen. I want 2 defensive linemen. And this is why people came in my chat yesterday asking me, Rico, what 2 defensive tackles does Colorado need? Well, I said, I don't think they need any defensive tackles. But if Coach Prime wants 2 defensive linemen to show up from the portal that are willing to walk on, he said maybe they'll get a scholarship, maybe they won't. But who's willing to walk on? I started thinking to myself, well, damn, are you guys sure you want these guys from the portal? Are you sure you want these guys from the portal? And somebody wrote me a DM. I literally get hundreds of DMs every day, but just sports questions, just high school kids asking me to review their film. But this one in particular was like very specific. He was naming certain players from the transfer portal. Do you think we're going to get this guy? Do you think we're going to? And I'm like, bruh, when I give you guys a prediction on a player, it's because the player told me, or I have insider knowledge, or I've put the pieces together. But I can't just randomly guess at random people all over the portal. That's not happening. It's like I get things right because I'm not randomly guessing all the time. I wait for the pieces to be put together. Sometimes you guys don't wait for the pieces to be put together. That's all I'm saying. Right? I can't just if I guess and I'm wrong, I lose credibility. One guy said, "You're going to be wrong on JSN. JSN is fast. He's going to be explosive. He's going to do all these great things. You're going to be wrong on JSN." And what I told him was, so what? So what? I give 2,000 sports takes, and you're stressing the one I missed. Are we going to talk about all the other ones I hit? Are we going to talk about every shot that I make? You know, when you go fishing, you don't catch all the fish, bruh. But if you can fish, you catch fish. You don't catch all of them. I'm just letting you know. Jordan missed shots. I don't think I missed, though. My assessment is 2-3 years in the making. My assessment is for 2 or 3 years from now. There are certain players you thought were great draft picks because of a good rookie season, and then they're no longer on the team for whatever reason. I'm just saying. I study drafts. I study players. I study this game. And shout out to my boy DJ. I was just on show. I was almost late to the show. I was hanging out with one of my former players, a guy I used to coach in football, and he's an older gentleman now, but he's got his own podcast. He's got his own TikTok channel, and he calls me Coach. I call him Douglas because we know each other from a different perspective and a different time frame. But now that we're both, we're much older, this is a grown man. I want to call him, hey, what do they call you? They call me DJ. All right, you're DJ, bro. So shout out to DJ. It was nice to see an old player of mine. It's nice to reconnect and catch back up. And he was phenomenal. He was a great player. Nonetheless, let's get focused. We're going to talk transfer portal. I'm going to do 5 guys. Pause. I'm going to go over 5 players in the transfer portal, and then I'm going to jump to the questions in the comments, and then I'm going to go back to 5 guys, and then we're going to go like this, back and forth. You guys just got to follow the dance. Are we ready? We ready to do this? Look, I can talk about Oklahoma winning 60 games in a row for their 3rd national title, but it's just a bunch of chicks, bro. Chicks with sticks, baseball bats. No, they're great. They're phenomenal. Their domination is unrivaled by many sports teams. It's a dynasty and a half. They're winning games by an absurd amount. It's impressive. So shout out to Oklahoma softball. But I ain't watching. I'm telling you that right now. I ain't watching the NBA Finals. All right, let's go to the top of this list here. These are all the players in the transfer portal at the defensive line here. So these are all the players that are, quote-unquote, undecided, according to 24/7 Sports. Now, what we do know is 24/7 Sports doesn't know anything about these players. They just have a picture. They have some stars they gave them from high school. They don't know if these guys can actually play football, number one. Number two, they don't know their rankings. You guys ever see the rankings? Their rankings are absurd. Their rankings are absurd. And they just got these guys in here, and they don't even update their website. They just don't update it. It's embarrassing. But let's go over these guys. So we're going to go down 5. So Marcus Robinson sitting here, defensive lineman from Auburn, right? He's at Auburn. This is a Florida kid. Hey, 6'3", 310 pounds. I don't know if his grades are intact because he sounds ideal for Coach Prime all day long. I would highlight this kid green all day. 6'3", 310 from the SEC. He's got a single mom. He's got 5 brothers and sisters. Coach Prime said he wanted single-parent moms, single-parent households for the defensive line. He wants 2-parent households for the O-line, single-parent households for the D-line. He's got a mom and 5 brothers and sisters. But the thing about Marcus Robinson is he hasn't been happy at Auburn for a while. He hit the transfer portal last year. Didn't get any bite, didn't end up anywhere, came back to school. Then they said he got focused. They said he started practicing better, started playing better. Well, then he came back to school for the spring. He did his spring thing. This was last year. And then he went through the season. He's been in 3 games. Special teams, 3 games. And now he's back in the portal again. 3 years of eligibility. I don't know how good he is. Everybody talks about how good he was. He was a former 4-star, how good he was. I don't know how good he is, but, is he worth the flyer? It is what it is. Is he worth the flyer? It is what it is. So, he's here. Alton Tarber. Alton Tarber the 4th, by the way. There's 3 other dudes walking around with this dude's name. Alton Tarber the 4th from Oklahoma, right? He was at Oklahoma. I am shocked that he jumped in the portal because he was supposed to get playing time at Oklahoma. He was supposed to get playing time. Big body kid, 6'2", 330, just looks the part. I don't know why he's not with a team right now. That's 2 guys that you might want to take flyers on. I'm telling you, that is not the social norm of this transfer portal. Of the players that are left, I'm going to talk about some players, and it's going to be like, whoa. These guys will be in the portal forever. Some of these guys are going to die in the portal. I'm letting you know right now. Some of the players that I'm going to talk about tonight will never play college football again. Never. Not FCS, not JUCO. No, they better go play for the longest yard. They better go play for the replacements. Some of these guys need to go look for regular-ass jobs. They're not even college students. Some of these guys need to go to Indeed.com or Monster.com and start searching for jobs and pick something with low prerequisites because they're not built for society. Some of these guys aren't built for society. I'm calling it. And 3rd dude, Anthony Dunn, 2-star, leaving Marshall. He's already at FAMU. Shout out to Florida A&M. He's already there, practicing, been there for a while. 24/7 Sports. Update your website. If you don't want to do it, pay me. I'll do it. I'm just letting you know. Joshua Pocola. I don't like this kid. To me, he seems spoiled. Joshua Pocola, first and foremost, from the last time I looked him over and then this time I went to study him today, his Twitter is suspended. What was he doing, bruh? Was he shaming sexual assault victims? Was he doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing? Was he bullying? Like, how do you get your Twitter suspended? I want to know. His Twitter's suspended. This kid is from St. Francis, California. He went to Stanford. That's right. He went to Stanford for like 2 years, 3 years. Couldn't see the field. Transfers to Fresno State. Still couldn't see the field. 6'3", 310. I got him with a red flag, bruh. I got him with a red flag. Couldn't play there. And you know what this tells me? Who's the kid? Who's the defensive lineman that just transferred from Colorado? Leonard Payne. Leonard Payne, he gets to Colorado. He's teammates with this kid. He could have told the coaching staff, hey, there's another defensive lineman over there. Bring him. You know, because they were recruiting kids in pairs. Colorado's bringing kids in pairs. That's what they're doing. Every time you look, you got one teammate and another guy coming. All from 2 guys from each team. 2 guys from each team. All over the place. They're bringing dudes in pairs. But not Fresno State. Hey, yo, Leonard Payne. Hey, yo, Payne. Payne, is there another defensive lineman over there that's a dog that should transfer over here? Nah, man. There's that guy, Joshua, but he goes by Josh. He ain't shit. Nah, we don't want him. Nah. He's probably going to get his Twitter suspended anyways. No, you don't want him. All right, never mind. Hey, yo, Breedlove. Hey, Breedlove, should we get Clowney? Nah, he's going to Charlotte. He's already committed to Charlotte. Clowney's not in the portal anymore. He's committed to Charlotte. Like 24/7, update your website. Clowney is not available, and he hasn't been for months. It's crazy. This is Jadeveon Clowney's cousin, by the way. But in 3 years at Ole Miss, he only played in 11 games. Only played in 11 games in 3 years. It's Jadeveon Clowney's cousin. I guess he didn't get all of the genes. He didn't get all the genes. In those genes. Okay, so anyways, Jabari Ishmael right here from Miami. I'm going to go to 6. I'm going to go to 6 before I get to the chat because I know the chat's ridiculous. Jabari Ishmael. His dad was the strength and conditioning coach at Miami. He got fired. He'd been the strength and conditioning coach for 20 years at Miami. And Cristobal finally fired him. This is the son of your fired strength and conditioning coach. This is the man who gave Frank Gore strength and conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Sonoris Moss. It's crazy. So anyways, so his father gets fired. Now he's going to Marshall. He's already committed to Marshall. He's not available either. And he only played in 2 games, 17 snaps. So he's not much of a player at Miami. But hey, maybe Marshall got somebody. Marshall's giving everybody a second chance. Let me make that clear. They got Dix, right? Remember Dix, the D-I-X. Let me make that clear. Dix Jr. coming over, the linebacker. And they got Jabari Ishmael. But there you go. Not in the portal. Not available. And we'll get to Andres Fox right now. But let's go to the chat, see what's up. Shout out to everybody who's here. Thank you guys for the love and support on a Friday night. Are we at 100 yet? We're at 112. Shout out to the NBA Finals for having shit ratings. Just letting you know. Willie Bobo late to the party again. Shout out to Seth. Hey, Seth has made it his mission to show up to live chat and beat Willie Bobo here every night. Willie Bobo, stop sleeping on it, buddy. Get your sugar up. Willie Bobo out here. Hey, Willie Bobo's diabetic, y'all. Y'all better leave him alone. He can't do it like that. Welcome in, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Tonight's show has a special focus on the defensive line. You're damn right. Please ask any question only once. Rico will get to it. Thanks for joining. Shout out to Steve. I don't pay Steve, but Steve has been one of my day one sports guys. And Steve is one hell of, an administrator or moderator. What they call moderators. He's been a hell of a mod, bro. I appreciate him. That's funny, Seth. See? John Bryan, 2 first names. We know him. We call him 2 first. We're going to call him 2 for 2. John Bryan here, 2 for 2. He thinks it's funny. Willie Bobo says he's first no matter what. Okay. And I won a little over 1,100. I'm walking tall today. Willie Bobo is 5'7". Hey, but the money makes him look 6'5". Shout out to Russ. Money makes him look 6'5". He won $1,100. All right. Shout out to you, man. Hey, we having lobster tonight. We going to Sizzler. If you don't know the reference, y'all are some rookies. If you don't know the reference, get out the chat right now. We going to Sizzler. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably a Jack Harlow fan, and listen to Little Dirk as you go to bed at night. We going to Sizzlers. I'm just letting you know. Willie Bobo, not a bad day. Straight up. Way to go. Straight cash, homie. Look at that. 8 minutes till the curtain call. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. On. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you to the beautiful Kim. Kim Jones is here. Took her on vacation a couple weeks ago. Shout out to Kim Jones. Derek H. Yo, what up, Rico? Shout out to you, Jared A. Digital Assets Jared is one of the few followers I have that actually tips me on a consistent basis. I appreciate all the tips, no matter how big or small, but I appreciate you, Digital Assets Jared. We breaking bread, bruh. I'm not there to share a meal with you, but you're paying for my dinner, man. I really appreciate you. That's real. Who's Coach JB? A bum? A bum? A dude who was on Last Chance U and got fired for telling one of his German kicker, he's picking on a kicker, and he said, I'm your, and he called himself a dictator from Germany who he defeated in a world war. And he did some other inappropriate shit via email with another attorney. That man is one of the worst people alive. And I think he's behind on child support. That's what I heard, bro. That's what I heard. Allegedly. I got to put that in there. No libel. No, nothing bad here. Allegedly. But he can see me. I'd love to meet that dude. He ain't training. He ain't training to meet me. I'm training to meet everybody. I'm a leader in the world's strongest army. You better know somebody. My new favorite YouTube show, Lewis Henton. Thank you very much, brother. You're my new favorite fan, man. I appreciate you. I try my best, man. We're doing it. They can do the research. They're a bunch of evidence. Of poor work ethic. Shout out to you, Braden Miller. Let's work on some of these theirs. It's the wrong version of the word there, but I got you, brother. I know what you meant. I just need a wind talker to decipher some of this shit sometimes. I really watch your show because you're a G, and I support all the Gs. Yeah, Streets. Shout out to you, yeah, Streets. So, yeah, man, I think I got street cred. See me. It is what it is. The analysis we're saying Jalen Carter was better than Jordan Davis last year. T. Woods, this is hindsight because Jordan Davis last year was by far a greater prospect than Jalen Carter. The only reason anybody's going out there and saying Jalen Carter's better is because Davis got hurt and didn't have much of an impact. The reality is not all your draft picks are going to hit. Have you ever seen a draft class where they all hit? You haven't seen it. Go look at some of the greatest draft classes by a singular team, and it's going to be one or two superstars and the rest didn't pan out. It's going to happen. A lot of those guys aren't going to pan out. 4 years from now, they're all going to forget about it and pretend like I didn't say it. Or they're going to go, we all knew that, like these damn nerds do, bruh. But you know what? They're still wondering why she won't text back. These guys are beta males and a half. They can't even be in the same room as me. I know you're not a JSN fan, but how do you feel about him going to the Seahawks? Very ideal in my opinion. Sure. Any receiver going to the Seahawks is very ideal. That's cool. I think there's a better wide receiver that wasn't drafted. I think Matt Landers is over there ready to contribute and not get cut. He probably will because he doesn't have a contract to keep him on the roster. But, yeah, cool. Congrats. Asked my question before I knew the theme. My fault. No, don't sweat it. I'm here. Where do you rank Luke Kromenhack among high school quarterbacks? Is he top 5? Greg Barry, you're on the wrong channel. I don't talk recruits. I try not to talk high school recruits ad nauseum. I talk about it all the time. I literally talk about this every single show. Go back and watch all my live streams. Anybody comes in here and talks about recruiting is wasting my time and yours. You did it again. Congratulations. I'm done with you, bro. Jovan Antonio. Your thoughts on him, wide receiver. So I've made videos about him before. I've talked about him at many times in live streams. I think he is a grown man at the wide receiver position. 6'4", 220, and he's going to be a problem for DBs in the Pac-12. I like his skill set. He looks plenty fast. He looks extremely aggressive. He looks grown. Mature is the word I'll use. He looks mature. I like him a lot. Let's go. Pause. I like him a lot. Pause. I like him. No accountability. Man. Hey, speaking of no accountability, shout out to Bama for not punishing their players. Tony Mitchell's back. He didn't miss a thing. Convicted felon? Was it a felony? 3 years probation sounds like a felony to me. Didn't get punished at all by the university. Got 3 years probation. University just said, hey, man, skip 2 workouts and you're good, bro. You know why I kept cheating in my first marriage? No consequences, bro. Just keeping it real. No consequences. I just kept doing it because ain't shit going wrong. It's cool. I can 2-step. I'm ready. There we go. 24/7 and On3 are terrible. Yeah, all of them are. Any recruiting website is terrible because they just throw insufficient resources at it. They got a bunch of random people working for them in a network. They don't know anybody. There's no quality control. Quality assurance and quality control are 2 things that you do as a first sergeant in the Army. QA/QC. Ensuring the process is clear and ensuring that the product is free of errors. Right? The process needs to be defined and free of errors. There is no quality control when they post things on their website. Look, I'm looking at all these profiles here off to the screen here, and every single guy I mentioned will have an error on their profile. A complete error. They don't care. They literally have guys still in the portal that haven't been in the portal for months. Whose job is it to update this? Whoever's job it is to update the website, fire him. Fire him. And if it's no one's job, explain that. Explain that. You got a website that nobody's maintaining. It's crazy. You imagine if you went to weather.com and you went to go check the weather for the day and they didn't have any information on it. It just had the same weather from the day before and the day before and the day before. And here you are 3 weeks later. You're like, it's not raining, bro. This thing keeps saying it's raining. And it's a major website. And they don't have it updated? It's crazy, dude. That's crazy. That's embarrassing. Where are they allocating their resources? Are they all on summer break? Let me know. Are they all on summer break? Or they say, fuck it? Because I'm telling you, it happens sometimes. I go to Our Lads. It's a website. Our Lads. OURLADS. Our Lads, they update depth charts. You know how many teams they're behind on? A shit ton. But they're working on it every day. I can go back and check. They got all the Power 5 done, but they're still working on Group of 5. It's still got errors. They don't know. That guy's not at the school. I go and proofread these websites every day. I live in this shit. I'm entrenched in it. It's my job. They weren't expecting somebody like me to show up. I know their website's better than they do. I can literally sit here and point out errors all day long. I bet they don't. I bet they don't even know where they're at. Because you don't know what you don't know. They don't know the errors. Just keeping it real. Jordan Anthony. I'm sorry, man. The wide receiver. Oh, you gave me another wide receiver. Jordan Anthony, wide receiver from Kentucky. Talked about him about 2 nights ago. Insanely fast track star. I hope he gets signed somewhere. He's a 4-star speedster. Somebody's got to give him an offer. The kid's blazing fast. Really fast. 6.55 in the 60. Ran a 6.55 in the 60 meters in track. Andre Isilvas from Princeton got drafted because of his track speed. He ran a 6.71. Heptathlon, everybody's like, well, he's got track speed. He ran a 6.71, and that's fast. 6.55, that's world class. That man is going to look for a track offer. He's going to run track and play football. I'd say Tennessee should be interested. They have a hell of a track team. A&M should be interested. They have a hell of a track team. I'm just saying. I like Carl Reed from 24/7. He had very insightful interviews with Coach Prime. Here's my issue, Lawrence. Here's my issue. And I kid you not. Carl Reed, he's known as the father of the wing T. I don't know who gave him that moniker, but that's what he has on his Twitter. Carl Reed is a writer for 24/7. I think he used to be a coach. Okay. He interviewed Coach Prime, and he had questions for Coach Prime. But if you went and read the story that he wrote for 24/7 Sports, he didn't write anything. All he did was provide a transcript of the interview. He didn't come to a conclusion. When you're a writer, you should write a synopsis. You should write some type of conclusion. You should write something in the story that makes it unique to you. It's just an interview, question, answer, and then it's done. And if you read the title, read the title. Look, how do I find this? What's his name again? Carl Reed? I didn't even know this question was coming up. Right? 24/7. I didn't even know this question was coming up. And look at this. I'm ready to go. Football analyst, 24/7 Sports. Oh, I didn't want to go to his LinkedIn. I'm not here to knock the man. I'm here to question. Let's see if it comes up. It's spinning. Do. Not their plan. Not that crap. Not that crap. Come on, man. Sorry, guys. I'm sitting here doing my dirty work because I wanted to have this conversation on the fly. Shouldn't do that. Should be ready. So when you come to their homepage, Q&A, right? Carl Reed here. Let's go to the Q&A. Read this right here. Deion Sanders believes his true goal behind his much-discussed roster makeover has been lost in translation. What? Where is that anywhere in the interview? This is nowhere to be found. Now, I happen to be a former sports writer. I know that copy editors write this portion. Your sports editors and copy editors write the headline. Carl Reed only writes this lower portion. At least that's the way it used to be in newspapers, in sports world. But that headline has nothing to do with the interview whatsoever. Deion Sanders believes his true goal behind his much-discussed roster makeover has been lost in translation. Coach Prime didn't say that anywhere. He doesn't say it anywhere. I read the whole thing. It's just the whole Bucky video, word for word. Give me something unique. If you're going to be a reporter and you're going to sit down with Coach Prime, give me your assessment. Give me your conclusion when you're done interviewing the man. That's all I'm asking. Do something else, bro. Just come on. Bring some value to me. Once I hit my like and make it Rico, I swear I'm going to invest in your show. Once you hit your lick, my bad. Once he hits his lick, you're a warrior talking football. I appreciate you, man. If you guys invest in me in any way, man, I'm here for it. Let me tell you, I'm here for it. I appreciate you guys. These guys in the transfer portal at this point should just go anywhere, Division II, Division III, NAIA. Brian Doyle, let me talk about this. You're going to see guys in the transfer portal, and they're going to say they have offers. You're going to say they have offers, and the offers are gone because the scholarships are gone. So, yeah, you had an offer in April, but it's not there anymore. The scholarship's gone. They gave it to somebody else. But they left it up on their Twitter, so you would think they still had offers, but the offers are dried up. They don't have offers. There's not scholarships available unless it's at a smaller FBS school. And some of these guys are saying they don't want to go small FBS route. They're getting calls from JUCOs. And they're either ignoring them or they're overestimating their talent and their ability, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't. By this point, it's too late in the game, bruh. It's too late in the game. You need to find somewhere to go to school. You need to find somewhere you can enroll in class because you want to be academically eligible for the next semester. You cannot afford to sit out. You just can't. And if that means go to JUCO and get in some damn classes. Keeping it real. Carl Reed's the only person over at 24/7. Okay. See you. Better go get some defensive tackle from a JUCO. On3 lost me when they had the nerve to question Coach Prime's wisdom in turning over the roster. Do you know Jacob Holmes Jr. from Fresno State? No, I don't know Jacob Holmes Jr. We don't go way back. JUCO sucks. Do you even watch this show? What do you think of Breedlove, Colorado DB? I think Kendrick Breedlove committed to Colorado early on in the process. Remember, Ole Miss lost their cornerbacks coach. He got hired by Purdue. So all the corners were leaving Ole Miss because they didn't have a connection to the program anymore. They weren't recruited by this guy. And they actually have a good defensive backs coach right now. But all the corners jump in the portal. Of all the corners from Ole Miss that jumped in the portal, I think Kendrick Breedlove is probably the worst one. I think he's a role player at best. If he's on your field, you're probably not winning the game. I think he's a liability in coverage. Now, you need people. You need competition. You need players. You need special teams. You need it. But if he's anything more than a nickelback, and we all hate nickelback, I don't know. That's how I feel when I watch the young man play. NBA Finals should not be that bad, bro. Only Game 1 was bad. Braden Miller, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch Game 1. I won't watch Game 7. Nothing about the NBA Finals appeals to me. I'm serious. I'd rather watch my dog eat shit in the backyard and just wonder how she digests it. That's what I'd rather do. Keeping it real. NBA Finals starts in 13 minutes. Our numbers will go up. I don't think Colorado will have an issue with the I don't either. Lawrence, I don't either. With finding a defensive tackle, I think they'll have an issue finding one. I don't think they have an issue with their current ones, is what I'm saying. Get the likes up. Shout out to you, Tone White. Yo, Rico, I need to see you and the real coach JB do a show one of these days. Mason Taylor, the guy showed up to my channel. He fed me a lie. I asked him for some support. He said, hey, man, you got me all wrong. I got 41 guys to college. I got 41 guys offers at my last year at Independence. And I said, okay, where? Where is the letter of intent? Because I track every recruiting class for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I track every single recruiting class for every single team. I don't trust websites. I do my own research. Where's the press release? From the university. So if you got a guy to go to a school, show me the press release where that guy went to school. Give me a name and where they enrolled. And he could not even go there. Because I asked for details. I asked for information. I can't just wing, oh, you got 41 guys offers? That's awesome. No, it is not awesome. What's not awesome is I'm only tracking 3 guys got offers, and I'd love to know where the other 38 guys went. But you're bullshitting. You're fronting for clicks. And yeah, he's got a name. Shout out to Netflix for putting him on. But there ain't nothing else that man has done to impress me. And he can't talk football to me. I saw him get a kid from TikTok, and he was like, what's quarters? What's cover 2? What's quarters? Try to have that conversation with me. Ask me what coverages are. Ask me to describe coverages and offensive schemes and route trees, whatever you want to talk about football. Try it. I'll embarrass you. Dude is light work. And I let him know. And I went to his channel, and I let him, hey, let's have a talk, man to man. The only difference is I've seen you attempt to run on Netflix, and you lost to every offensive lineman. You look pathetic. I've been training for wars for the last 20 years. You don't want to step to me. I'm a problem. I walk into a room, I'm a problem. I'm not even messing around. I'm an MMA trained monster. I take that dude's lunch money, bro. Just letting him know. What do you think about Colorado's strength coach always bashing the players after workouts? Do you think Colorado has the right tools to compete? So, I'm cool with strength coaches. They're always going to give you a hard time. I hope he calls them all weaksters. I hope he calls them all, pipsqueaks. I don't care what he does. Do what you do, man. You're a strength and conditioning coach. You should motivate them to want to be better. More power to them. I make my players work out, right? In the Army, as a first sergeant, you don't want to see me in front of a formation. You don't want to see me in front of a formation. I make my people feel like they've never worked out a day in their life. And soldiers work out every single day, like professional athletes. They get paid to work out. Soldiers get paid to work out every single day. And I make them feel like they've never worked out because I'm there to break them off. First sergeant, why are you worried about it? I don't care. We need to work on your man muscles, bruh. You look like you can't even hold the front lean and rest long enough to bust, bruh. Get away from me. I'm just letting you know. Do they got the right tools to compete? I believe so. I think they have great coaching, the right mindset, and I think they have really good players. That's all you need to compete. Now you just need a chance to play. You just need to get on the field and play. That's it. Charlotte lost a lot of games last year. But if you went and watched Charlotte, if you go back and turn on the film and watch Charlotte, they had players. They had players. Elijah Spencer's playing wide receiver at Minnesota right now. Grant DuBose is playing wide receiver in the NFL right now. They had a 5th-year starting quarterback. They had players. They weren't always getting blown out of games. They looked like they belonged on the field, but they couldn't quite get it done. And that's why you fire the coach. You have players. You just can't quite get it done. There's teams like this everywhere. There's good players on the team. You just got to win with them. Colorado didn't have good players last year. They do now. We'll see what happens. What do you mean by collectives in reference to NIL? Mr. Maurice. So, when there's a university, technically, now listen to what I'm saying, technically, no university is paying NILs. Not a single college is paying NIL. All right? No college. It's illegal. Schools cannot pay players. Players can get paid for their name, image, and likeness, but it can't come from the school because they have federal or state-funded budgets. You cannot use your budget on your players. It just can't happen. So players are getting paid by something called a collective. And what a collective is a closely associated group of businessmen, boosters, affiliates, whatever, and they pull the money together, and then they provide it to players. They allocate it to certain players. It's called a collective. It's closely related to the university. Is it the university, though? Technically, no. But it's people associated with the university. So when you get to the university, yes, you're going to enroll here. Oh, and by the way, you're going to go speak to the collective, and they will allocate a certain amount of money promised to you, right? And remember, that's why Rashada didn't go to Florida, was the collective promised him one thing, but his letter of intent and his schooling is over here. This is a whole nother thing. That's the university. The NIL has nothing to do with the university. Boom, boom, boom. Now, let's be realistic. Of course, they work hand in hand. Of course, they understand. But when there was those boosters that put together the Hogs, Texas said they're going to put together some money. And they put together, I think it was like $2 million, $600,000, $50,000 for 12 linemen every year at Texas. 12 linemen at Texas get $50,000 in NIL money every year. That's coming from the collective. And I think it's called the Hogs or something. I don't want to look it up right now. But go do some research on it. Texas pays their offensive linemen $50,000 each. What? Nobody else can promise that to an offensive lineman. So then all of a sudden, Texas is getting really good offensive linemen. They're getting Hogs. Well, how'd they do that? Well, their booster sat down and said, man, we need to address our offensive line. How do we become, how do we get an advantage over everyone else? And they put together this club, this booster club. It's not Texas. It's not Texas University, technically. So that's what I meant. Mike, hey, Rico, what up, Mike? Hey, if you guys didn't know, Mike flips houses. Word Shizzler. Hey, we going to Sizzler. We going to Sizzler. How do you feel about Fresno safety that transferred to Oregon? So you're talking about Evan Williams. He's a complete stud. One of the best transfer portal players on the secondary all offseason. Like, he really is that good. Evan Williams, Fresno State, transfers to Oregon. He starts from day one. I really, really like the kid. Thanks for asking, Sasquatch. Thank God I knew that answer. How did I know that question, y'all? How did I know that was coming? Is it preparation? Is it like I stay ready so I don't have to get ready? Shout out to me, bro. Tight end Eric Olson and linebacker Egan Carey are no longer with the football team. Both are planning to stay in school at CU and remain on scholarship. Is this the real reason? I have no idea, Em. I did not speak to anybody at the university today. I do not have any answers there. I don't have any answers there. Shout out to them. I could dig around and ask, but I don't want to. Guys, I have open lines of communication with players at Colorado and with coaches, and I try not to overuse them. I try not to overstep my boundaries. I'm just Rico, right? I'm just glad to be associated with college football, the entire world of college football. I'm not here to burn any bridges. There was a time I burned every bridge I walked across. I ain't worried about it. I'd walk across the bridge and burn it. Didn't give a shit. But not anymore. We're good. It's not important. What are your thoughts on Seydou Traore? Good pass-catching tight end. The young man is not American, right? He's from England. So he's not cut from our same cloth. He's not a meat eater, bro. He's not a carnivore. We beat them in a war. I still got beef with England, man. We beat them in a war. We had a revolt to beat these people. I'm just letting you know. I still got beef with England. Shout out to me. The old White Man Can't Jump is basically a classic, way better than the new version. My bad. Kadeem Hardison, and he worked with my wife on Different World. She was the assistant executive producer. Look at this, man. Wes Green, shout out to you, brother. People don't know what we're talking about up in here. They don't know what we're talking about. We have 125 people and only 33 likes. Get on it, y'all. Leave the chat. Leave the video. Go hit the like button. Come back in is what they're saying. Dang, I didn't know someone already had brought up Coach JB. Yeah, he ain't it, bro. What are your thoughts on Sean Bowman, tight end from Maine University? All right. So that's a very obscure question, but I know where it's coming from. Transfer portal entries yesterday. There he is. Shane Bowman from Maine jumped into the portal. Okay, he's available. Now he has 2 offers already. I think he has an offer from Colorado, but he has 2 other offers. One of them is Mississippi State, and that's important because Mississippi State does not have any tight ends. I don't know why tight ends aren't going to Mississippi State. They had no tight ends last year. Their offensive scheme didn't run tight ends. Shout out to Mike Leach, RIP. RIP the Pirate. But they threw to 14 different wide receivers. They did not throw to tight. They didn't have tight ends on the roster. So now they changed their offense, and they need tight ends. This is a good one. So Sean Bowman, it's a graduate transfer. He's been playing great, 30 receptions every year. Just great blocker. I went and found very few clips because it's Maine. But I did look into him earlier today, and I'd say this guy can play football. This guy can play football. I think he's just as good as blocking as he is at receiving. I really do. I know that he scored 4 touchdowns last year and then 5 touchdowns this year. I like him. 6'5", 263, the right size. He's not some 230-pound tight end trying to run down the field and run routes. They already got enough guys to run routes. They need to find somebody to do some blocking. But I think Mississippi State is a real offer that he's contemplating. And he had one more offer. I don't remember who it was. But remember what I told you guys. Colorado's recruiting players in pairs. He's recruiting players in pairs, bruh. That's all I'm saying. We already got one guy from Maine. Kari Mans, defensive end, came from Maine. Just getting players in pairs. That's all I'm saying. Don't get your hopes up too high. But it is what it is. All right. Let's go back to the 5. I'm going to leave it in chat right there. I'm going to stop right there because I know Steve with the wrench, and I'm going to go back to the transfer portal, and then I'll get back to you guys. All right. Back to the transfer portal. Andres Fox. This is another guy. He's in the transfer portal from Fresno State. But check this out. Just like this dude up here, Pocola, Andres Fox was also a transfer from Stanford. He was also a transfer from Stanford. But first, he was at West Virginia or Virginia, the Cavaliers. He was at Virginia, and then he transferred to Fresno State. So check it out. He's at Stanford for 4 years. Transfers to Virginia. Doesn't get enough playing time. Goes to Fresno State. He played in 9 games last year, but he's 6'5", 255. He's an edge rusher. Colorado does not need edge rushers, and I don't think anybody needs edge rushers because they're not signing this kid. He's got no offers that I know of. Marlo Eugenio, whatever his name is here, Cincinnati. Marlo's never playing football again. He didn't play at Cincinnati last year. He's 6'3", 245. Marlo's never playing football again. He's been arrested for sexual assault of several students. And unless they drop the charges and Bama's interested in another criminal, I don't know where he goes and plays. But this guy's not playing football again. I'm just keeping it real. I don't like him. Going to be in the portal. And register, buddy. And register. I'm just letting you know. Jaden Navarrete, whatever it is. I like the kid. I like him. He intrigues me. So he was at Oregon for 1 year redshirted. So he's got 4 years. He's got 3 years left. He was at Oregon for 2 years. This is wrong. They say immediate 4 years. Another error. He was there for 2 years. The young man is 6'3", 230. He played wide receiver in high school. I looked at his tape. This is a defensive lineman, an edge rusher, 6'3", 230. He played wide receiver on tape. Played at Norco, California. You guys know where Norco is? Norco, California? That's where Toby Gerhardt's from. Hope you guys know Norco, man. Norco, they got some – it's like a hillbilly town, I think, if I remember correctly. I grew up maybe an hour away. I don't know. Norco was always tough to me. Bunch of hillbillies. Bunch of dudes named Billy. And they could tie a lasso. They'd go out there and get the shit kicked dirty. Stomp a mud hole in your ass. That's the way they talk. Hey, I do that sometimes around here. I'm in Georgia, bruh. Sometimes I just walk around. Hey, what's going on now? My daddy told me this was a good place to eat. Y'all got some barbecue up around here? They think I really talk like that. As long as I stay talking like that, they think I really talk like that. It's bananas. All right, so yeah, I got a DM saying, Rico, what about Clyde Pinder Jr. So people always ask about him because he's 4 stars. Because he's 6 foot, 295 pounds, 300 pounds. 6 foot, 300 pounds? That's a little chunk, bruh. That's a little chunk of meat. Pause. That's a little block. So Clyde Pinder Jr. is just this stubby little dude in the middle. And no, he's not coming from, well, he is coming from South Florida, but he didn't play last year. You see the shirt in the picture there. North Carolina is where he started. This is a North Carolina kid. Couldn't play at North Carolina. He was there for 2 years. Transfers to South Florida for playing time. 1 tackle. 1 tackle. But he's from Florida. Coach Prime wants kids from Florida. That's why they're all interested in Clyde Pinder Jr. But if he shows up, he's going to have to walk on. Just saying. Just saying. Verdus Brown. Verdus Brown, I actually like this kid. Listen to the size of Verdus Brown here. 6'4", 350 pounds. 6'4", 350, bruh. Verdus Brown, 4-star guy. Defensive lineman? No, he moved to offensive line when he got to Illinois. And in 2020, when they played their 8 conference games or whatever they did, he started all the games at right guard. So he's a starting right guard at Illinois. Then in 2021, they asked him to move to defense. Played in 2 games. This was an Under Armour All-American. This was everything. Then they switched him. They made him gain weight, changed positions. Now he's on the offensive line. I don't know, bruh. I don't know. He's not a defensive lineman anymore. He's a straight-up offensive lineman. But he's not in the portal. He's committed to Campbell, the Fighting Camels of Campbell. Shout out to 24/7 Sports for not knowing that he's not in the portal. They love not knowing. I don't know. They love not knowing. Ain't that what Chris Rock said? Or was it Chris Rock? Yeah, it was Chris Rock. Cavante Henry. Another red flag. So, Cavante Henry, 6'4", 215. He needs to eat. He needs a burrito. I think he ends up at, like, San Diego State. But I think no teams want him. He's a California kid, by the way. He's a 4 to 3-star kid wherever you look. But he was kicked off the team at Oklahoma. And you know why he was kicked off the team? Because he refused to submit to disciplinary action. In other words, they told everybody take a lap, and he said, no, I'm not doing that. They told everybody we're going to do gassers, we're going to do sprints, and he said, no, we ain't. No, I'm not doing that. He's above it all. He's above punishment, corrective training. He's above anything. That's not a team player. That's not a guy you want in your locker room. This is why he's still in the portal. 4-star guy, red-shirted 1 year at Oklahoma, but he was off the team, I think, by November. Refused to submit to disciplinary action? Say what? You're not getting hazed, bruh. Come out and tell us if you were. Nope. He just refused to do the punishment given to the team or to him. And he was removed from the roster. This is a guy that was committed to Michigan. And then he flipped to Oklahoma on National Letter of Intent Day. He was verbal to Michigan. And then he flips to Venables and goes to Oklahoma. And he ain't playing football. Where is he going? That's what's in the portal. You guys want to know what's in? Hey, Rico, can you tell us what's in the portal? This is what's in the portal. These guys, man. Dante Walker. I know the kid. Watched him play. Cedar Grove, 3A football here in Georgia. I think he's a walk-on candidate. 6'4", 305. Dante Walker, 6'4", 305. I like him. He's gained 60 pounds in 3 years. He's lifting weights, bro. He's eating, he's lifting. He's doing all kinds of things. But I don't know what his deal is. He went to Marshall for 1 month. Out of high school, he signed with Marshall. He was there for 1 month, and then he bounced. And they let him change his letter of intent and went to Western Kentucky. Now he gets to Western Kentucky. He never saw the field. He is 6'4", 306 pounds. I don't think he's good enough to play at Colorado. But he's got no red flags other than, why'd you leave school? I don't know. Broken promises. West Virginia was too far, so you went to Western Kentucky. I don't know. Marshall's in West Virginia, by the way, if nobody's tracking. My bad. I got to go a little slower for some of you guys. You got to know what the hell I'm talking about. You guys see this right here? You guys see how to pronounce this name? It's Keonist. Keonist Thompson, or KT. UCF, KT. Florida kid, 6'3", 255, another edge rusher. They tell me he's a 4-star kid. They tell me he's a complete stud. But he couldn't see the field at UCF. And he's got rumors he wants to go to Auburn. Come on, dude. You couldn't play at UCF. Go pick a different school where you're going to see the field. Stop it. Be realistic. Be realistic. This kid's going to die in the portal. Not being realistic. Not being a realist about his talent or what's going on. It drives me crazy. Jalen Cunningham, he moved to offensive line. He signed with Arkansas State. He's playing for Butch Jones. When he was so he's a huge man. He's 6, I know he's 330 pounds. I don't remember how tall he is. But when he played at Ole Miss, I swear to you guys, he's been at Ole Miss for a while. He played 231 snaps on field goals and extra points. This man didn't play offense. He came out there to block for the field goals and the extra points. 231 times. He's played in 46 games. It's his last year of eligibility. You imagine he's on the sideline, bro? He's like, we scored? Oh, it's my turn to go in. And he just goes out there and he just leans in. They take that one step and lean in on the inside gap. That's what offensive linemen do, right? On the extra point, they just lean in. Boom. That's all Jalen Cunningham's ever done. So he's going to go play for Butch Jones. We'll see if he can play football. Never seen him play football in my life. I watched every clip I could find. He's done 267 snaps on offense, but half and half, bro. Half and half. For 5 years, it is what it is. But he's not in the portal. 24/7 Sports, he's not in the portal. Christian Zachary. Not in the portal. Christian Zachary's not in the portal. Out of Liberty. He's already committed. Now, here's the thing. I'm giving him a red flag because he committed to Western Kentucky, right? He commits to Western Kentucky. He goes and takes the spot of Dante Walker up here. And when Christian Zachary commits to Western Kentucky, I'm like, cool. I'm going to go make a video on this because I know the kid. He went to Carrollton here in Georgia. So I'm like, Christian Zachary's getting a shot, all this stuff. He only did 14 tackles and 1 sack at Liberty. So I'm like, all right, I'll go find the 14 tackles and the sack. I'm getting ready to make the video. What's he do? 2 weeks ago, last week, whatever, he flips. Not going to Western Kentucky. Now he's going to, quote unquote, the world's greatest HBCU, Southern, the Jaguars. He's going to Southern. So now he's going to Southern. He flipped again, but he's going to HBCU. 6'3", 290. Like the kid. He's cool people. Good stuff. Happy for him. Here's Toby Umara. You guys know I hate these kids, bro. And I shouldn't say that. I hate these damn kids. No. I don't like Silver Spoon kids. I don't like them. Can't relate to them. I didn't grow up like that. Toby here grew up on third base. Thinks he hit a triple. He didn't hit a triple, bro. He grew up on third base. Both his parents are doctors. He's going to Stanford. He's a human biology. Human biology major. Okay. He missed the 2021 injuries. He had a season-ending injury, missed the whole season. Haven't seen him play football since 2020. This man ain't played football. I don't know. I think COVID took him out. I think COVID ended this man's career. I think he got a cold and couldn't play football anymore. I've never seen him play football since he got that cold. I'm just letting you know, 6'4", 265, not Colorado material whatsoever. I don't know what material he is. He's going to die in the portal and go be a doctor like his parents. Congrats. He lived a real rough life, bro. I know. It's really tough out here. In your Lexus. All right, Toby K. Hey, dude, I can't pronounce this dude's name. Oh, cool. Defensive lineman leaving Auburn. He's not in the portal either. Shout out to 24/7 Sports. 24/7 Sports. This man committed to Iowa State after the draft. He saw, I talked about it, the Will McDonald effect. Will McDonald IV gets drafted in the NFL draft, first round. And this dude at Auburn goes, I can go back home. He's from Missouri. He goes, man, I can go back home? I go play for Iowa State? Like Will McDonald did? I get drafted? Shit, I'm going back home. So he transfers from Auburn to Iowa State. I think they're happy to get him. 6'5", 272. Good kid, not in the portal. Guess who else is not in the portal? Dallas Walker the fourth. 6'4", 330, Dallas Walker the fourth. This would have been a perfect guy for Coach Prime. 6'4", 330? Come on, bro. He redshirted 1 year at Texas A&M. They got an amazing defensive line. But he's committed. He's at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky already cleaned up this whole row. Western Kentucky went down it just the way I am right now. Western Kentucky was like, we'll take him. We'll take him. We'll take him. They're out here shopping, man. They're window shopping the transfer portal. Western Kentucky got all these guys. Shout out to them. Earl Barquette. Earl Barquette is still in the portal from USC. He's actually not a USC guy. I mean, he was there last year. But he's from Louisiana. He was at TCU for 2 years. 6'3", 280. He looks like he's been lifting weights at major programs. Been lifting weights at TCU, transferred to USC. He's been lifting weights there too. He looks the part, but he only had 4 tackles last year. So at some point you got to wake up and go, I can't play at TCU. Why the hell am I transferring to USC? Let me go transfer to Nevada, right? Come on. Or Louisiana. Go transfer to ULM. Transfer to Louisiana, the Raging Cajun. Do something, bro. But you got to stop this transferring to TCU and USC and you can't see the field. I'll do the next two. And then I'll go back to chat. Tyler Baylor from Maryland, not in the transfer portal again, was at Maryland for 5 years, never really played. Just always been a backup, special teamer at best. He's a third cousin to Elgin Baylor, by the way. Basketball great. Yeah, that's his third cousin. But Tyler Baylor, eventually, he just signed with Kent State. So he's transferring to Kent State, going to the MAC. Should be able to play there, hopefully. The cupboard's bare. So it is what it is. Cedric Roberts, not in the transfer portal. Committed to Texas State. Shout out to Cedric Roberts. 4 years of eligibility left. 6'3", 280. Take back Texas. Take back Texas. That's what they're saying. That's what Texas State's doing. They're taking anybody who was once from Texas. If you left the state for any reason and you're looking to come back home and you're a good player, Texas State's got an offer for you. Cedric Roberts is not in the portal. So there you go. We'll touch the rest of these guys. Let's go back to chat. What's up, y'all? Everybody stay on it, y'all. I just need to drink my water and we'll be good. We go back and find them damn where are we at? Somebody said over 100. I don't even know what that is. Okay, my bad. Y'all do what Kim says. Okay. Thinking about applying to Bama legal department for some consistent work. Shout out to you, Steve. You'll have your hands full. For sure. Tony Mitchell was out in Florida evading police and slanging pounds of weed. Bama show their true colors. It's insane, Zion. It's insane. It's 8 ounces, bro. It's half a pound with scales. Not to mention $7,000 in cash. Somebody said, well, he was just trying to make ends meet. You know, you got to make that extra money. $7,000 in cash. How many of you guys got $7,000 in cash in your car right now? Who's driving around with $7,000? That tells me he sold another half a pound. He had 8 ounces. He had 256 grams. He had 236 grams. 236 grams. That tells me he sold some to make that $7,000. Or he brought $7,000 along to buy more? Figure it out, bruh. Outrageous. Was Tony Mitchell the kid that got pulled over on camera and was crying, saying, call my dad? Yes, that was him. T. Woods, grow up. I don't know who T. Woods is. Oh, the guy in chat? It is what it is, Nico Tate. Let it go. I'm driving past Cormani McLean's high school. Just drove from Miami to Lakeland. You know where you want to stay out of? I watch First 48. Where do you want to stay out of? Anybody know? Homestead. Stay out of Homestead. First 48 told me stay out of Homestead. That's all I know. Every time I watch an episode, they got that Cuban dude talking, and they're in Homestead. And they're lining them up in chalk. I can't mess with Homestead. I'm just letting you guys know right now. How far south did I go? I went to Palm Beach. I went to West Palm Beach or something like that. I went where they were doing those massages. Who was that guy who committed suicide in the fancy house with Trump and the other dude? Yeah, that's as far as I got, bro. I couldn't go any further south. I couldn't go past Hollywood. I'm letting you know now. Zion, chill. Audio's fine. Carl Reed was being just a friend to Prime. He didn't want to do anything but publish good things. No, that's true, my burner account. But listen, I ask for journalistic integrity. If you're a journalist and you sit down with a coach, you can do all the nice things, ask the questions, write your article, whatever. But you have to put your stamp on your story. You have to. This is what the writers and the journalists of this generation don't understand, because I don't think Carl Reed's been a writer his whole life. I think he was a football coach. And then he just started covering sports because he knew about some sports. But he doesn't understand. This is why guys have columns on Saturday morning. Saturday and Sunday morning columns. There used to be this section on the newspaper on the front page. Off to the side there, it would be a straight column. And you would be a columnist, and you would give your opinion on something. Put your stamp on something. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't just give me an article of the interview you gave. Give me something else. Give me your opinion. Make it unique to you. And I didn't see it unique to him at all. I saw questions, answers, and you could have wrote that anywhere. You could post that anywhere. You know where we get that? We get that from The Wire. I don't know. I know you guys don't know this, but in the sports world, there's something called The Wire. There really is. It's a damn database of all these stories, and you can just go download different portions of it, and it's called Wire Reports. And then that's when you see a story and it says by the Associated Press, because you don't know who the author is. It's just by a bunch of other people, by the Associated Press. And that's just random shit you get from The Wire. That's what it looks like. On a 24/7 page, I'm reading something from The Wire. I'm reading something very, it's just very vague. And I want that man, Reed could have just gave a synopsis. He could have went out and said, we're coming. He could have went out and said, I got Colorado winning 6 games. After talking with Coach Prime, I feel like they're going to win 6 games. He could have said anything. Anything. He could have said, after talking with Coach Prime, it looks like they're still looking for 2 defensive linemen. Anybody should be willing to sign up. They freed up 70 roster spots. They're looking for 2 more. Like you can just give your little touch. Give your little touch on it, bro. It is what it is. Mine is choppy. Mine as well. Oh, my audio's choppy? My audio's choppy? Is my mic acting up? Let me check my stuff. You guys got to talk to me, y'all. My mic looks good over here. Sorry, guys. Any new wide receiver transfers today? No new wide receiver transfers today. I'm talking defensive lineman only. Do you think Troy Franklin is a top 5 wide receiver in the country? I don't know who Troy Franklin is. I don't know who Troy Franklin is off the top of my head. I know Franklin's. I know Troy. Who's Troy Franklin? Jordan Buchanan, prime example. He's been sitting in the portal. He got an offer from CU a month ago, and he still can't find a home. Right. So offers wash up. Offers dry up. Offers dry up. Without Last Chance U, he would be nobody. He's still nobody. Is he talking about? Yeah. He calls them out for falling off middle of workouts. Them guys need that tough love. Who's that? Oh, the strength and conditioning coach? Yeah. Forgot to mention he was a JB, was a deadbeat father, yep, and lies about literally everything. His daughter has come out multiple times exposing him too. Hey, man, I got 3 daughters. They might expose me someday, so I don't want to go there. Literally every strength coach ever, that guy confirmed. Exactly. Who do you think will start at running back? It's a hard decision on redshirting Dylan Edwards, even though he should start now. What are your thoughts? No, it's not a hard decision. There's a man in that running back room that's rushed for 16 touchdowns in a season, over 900 yards. And then there's everybody else who's never done that. Let's make that very clear. There's a man in that running back room that has put up over 900 yards and 16 touchdowns in FBS level games, and then there's everybody else who's never done that. That's who the starting running back is. Shout out to all McCaskill IV. Dylan is definitely getting redshirted. He's good, but he has 3 respectable studs in front of him. I agree completely. Dylan Edwards is redshirting this year. Team is filled top of running back. Yep, let him play 4 games. When watching Colorado, do you think they have similar resources in terms of facilities, trainers, etc., the other Pac-12 schools? Black Mons, when I watch it, I think it's very comparable to certain Pac-12 schools. I do not think it's equivalent to all Pac-12 schools. No. Oregon, USC, UCLA, world-class facilities, world-class everything. Like they have some real shit. But Colorado's is very comparable to Arizona's. I've been all over Arizona's campus, all over their amenities, their stuff. They're very comparable. But when you start talking about the Oregons and the USCs, maybe even Washington's. I haven't been up to Washington, but man, yeah, it's fine. I think it's good. They're not looking like they're poverty. Coach Prime ain't cutting his own grass, is he? Coach Prime ain't out on the field cutting grass. They're not storing helmets and shoulder pads in a storage locker with mold growing on it. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman. Come on now. Colorado strength coach calls them out. Yep. Totally agree. Is showing you what they want everybody to see. Coach Prime releases the videos. Yeah, Tate. That's okay, man. It's a marketing campaign. Happens all the time. Just from my eyes, they're not physically ready compared to other teams. My burner account, I think you need to get your eyes calibrated, bro. Go watch other teams. Practices are there. Game tape's there. We didn't see the entire workout. Some of the reels are replayed. Yep. What do you mean they're not physically ready? Do you realize the altitude of Colorado? No joke. Yeah. I don't think people have ever watched other college teams practice. That's what it is. I don't think you've ever seen other college teams practice and prepare for a season. So you see one, and then you go, oh, they don't look ready. They don't look good. They don't look big enough. And it's like, what? Have you ever seen? How big do you expect humans to be? Like, I'm 6 foot 235. That's the size of a linebacker. What's up? I'm going to walk next to a linebacker, and he's not big enough? It's the size of an NFL linebacker. I'm walking around like a regular person. They're regular people. You guys got it twisted, bro. They're not superhuman. Nobody's superhuman. Do you know anything about Ed Bobineau, defensive tackle from Stephen F. Austin? He's a dog. No, don't. Norco, where La Sierra is. No. Chris E., physique, conditioning, just overall size. Exactly. Look, I didn't even know it was in the chat. Yes, they've gotten bigger from the spring, but they're a ways away to compete team. I'm talking backups and everything. Yeah, I didn't even know it was in the chat. This guy has no clue what he's talking about. My burner account needs to put a real name on his account. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're looking at your linemen, and how much bigger do they need to be? They're 6'8", 340 pounds. You're looking at DBs. They're 6 foot, 180. That's the size of guys getting drafted. Everybody's the right size. You just don't realize it because you have never sat down and assessed a roster. They are more than big enough. Everybody. It's crazy. This is crazy talk right here. It takes more than 40 players to win a college football game. Yeah, no shit. No shit. Shout out to you. Rico, Ed Bobineau is a defensive tackle. You have to watch film on him. He is a dog. I try to watch film on dogs. I'll see what I can do. Steve, if you're bored later, search Nebraska, Tyson Terry. This big kid is an athlete. Who's bored, bro? As far as size, they have it. Yep. You have to watch film on Ed. He's 6'3", 300 pounds, 4'7", and he's a dog. Okay, we got a lot of dogs here at the Dog Pound. Wow. How do you feel about the owner of the Colorado Rockies being a chairman for the Utah NIL net? Oh, dude, who gives a rat's ass? Listen, I'm telling you right now, NIL collectives for different universities, they have their boosters, bruh. They have their alumni. Are you kidding me? You think Cal won the transfer portal in the spring without Google? Nah, bruh. Every team's got boosters, and they come from all walks of life. That's your alumni. I don't care. Don't care. You got the joke of the day. COVID took him out. I'm just letting you know, Chris. Rico, you mean as hell, bro. I'm just keeping it real. Lincoln's brother signed off on TCU kid to USC. Oh, okay. Okay, he vouched for him? That's cool. Never bored here, but thanks for the heads up. Rico, my man. What up, Chaos? I'm concerned with the middle of the defense and offensive line. 2 weeks so far. Maybe some guys can overachieve, but that's more important than a lot of things. Okay, but that's more important than a lot. So, you're talking about the offensive line. If you go watch Kent State versus Georgia, you're going to see two of the starting offensive linemen right next to each other. Go watch the Kent State versus Georgia game. They rushed for over 100 yards. Watch them dominate and show up and play against a Georgia defensive line that everybody swears is the greatest they've ever seen. Jalen Carter and all them boys. Last year, Kent State, go put on the game, Kent State, Georgia. It's on YouTube. Sit down and watch the offensive line from Kent State because two of those guys are starting for Colorado, and they're a year stronger and more experienced. You don't know what you're talking about. Then go watch Reggie Young II. Go watch him at Liberty. And watch that grown man handle his shit at Liberty. For Day-Day and Shadro Lewis, it's like you've never studied the game of football. And I know what you're doing. You're just looking. It's called confirmation bias. You guys ever done this before? Let me give you an example. Let's say you say women can't drive. Say you just say that's your mindset. Women can't drive. And then you're going through traffic one day. You're driving. You get cut off. You pull up right next to that car that cut you off, and it's a woman. And you go, yep, told you women can't drive. Right? And then you find a woman driving in NASCAR. And you go, well, she could drive, but the rest of them can't. Only she can drive. The rest of them all suck. You see what you just did there? It's called a confirmation bias. It's called Velcro and Teflon. Some things will stick, and some things are going to just slip right off, and you're going to ignore them. So you came in with the confirmation bias. This team isn't very big. They're not very good on the inside. They're not very strong. This is Colorado. They're not very good. So when you watch film, you look for them to be not very good. You look for them to be not very big and not very strong. And then when you see a guy who is very big or very strong, you go, oh, well, he is. He's just one. But the rest of them are still small and suck. And you do this over and over. And all you're doing is confirming your initial negative bias. Your initial conclusion was they aren't very big, they aren't very strong. But if you sat down and you assess the roster and the players, and you go, wait, that linebacker's 6'3", 230. So was half the damn draft picks in the NFL draft. Oh, man, it must be the lens on the camera. It must be the angle I'm looking at it. You're telling me that guy's 6'2", 205 at safety? Shit. Okay, my bad. Oh, that receiver's 6'4", 220? My bad. But you're sitting there and you're looking for negatives. And you're going to do whatever you can to confirm these negatives. And here's the worst part about a confirmation bias. Sometimes it's unintentional. Sometimes it's subconscious. You don't even mean to do it. You do it naturally because you've been so indoctrinated to do it. Right? Who's good at math? Who's good at math? If there was a black kid, an Asian kid, and a white kid sitting here, who would you ask? Who would you assume is good at math? And what if he sucked at math? You'd be like, well, he's not good at math, but I know a bunch of other Asian kids that are. Right? It's a confirmation bias. It's a stereotype. It's a problem when you spew it. It's okay to have it. It's okay to have it and keep it to yourself. But when you go into chat rooms, message boards, or in my chat, on my live, and you start telling all of my followers, well, I'm worried about them. They look too weak. Too weak so far. What do you need to see, bruh? Do you need to see all their max benches? Do you need to see all their max squat and power clean? And then what are you going to say? Well, that doesn't translate on the field. They just do that in the weight room. You're going to keep going down this rabbit hole of confirmation bias nonsense. You're not going to get anywhere with me, bruh. You're talking to a damn genius who applied himself to sports. Totally different. But I'm glad we had this conversation. I just saw, and you guys know I don't talk to anybody on TikTok. You guys know I don't ever talk to anyone on TikTok. And I looked down, and somebody wrote, you ever watch tape? You ever watch tape? Oh, my goodness. TikTok, you can't talk to me, bruh. I won't answer you. Who would you start at safety for Colorado? The answer is yes. I would start anybody. Yes. They'll figure it out over the next couple of months. I'm not sitting here trying to say who I wouldn't start, who I would start, but the answer is yes. Shout out to Trevor Woods. Where is Kendrick Blackshire on Bama's depth chart? Bruh. Look at this. If you ever have a question about a depth chart, here's what you do. You pull up the internet like this. You go here, and you say Alabama depth chart. Right? And then Our Lads will come up. Our Lads comes up. Click on Our Lads. It's purple, meaning I've already looked at every depth chart out there. And then you go search for whoever you want to look for. Kendrick Blackshire Jr. right here. Let's close this player. Right here. Middle linebacker. He's third string. He's behind Sean Murphy. He's behind Deontay Lawson. All the gold-colored names are new freshmen who came in or transfers. All the gold. So, yes, is Isaiah Bond starting? Yes, he is. With Malik Benson and Ja'Cory Brooks. Those are your starters. Pushes Kendrick Law to the backup. You know, this is where you go. Our Lads is the website. You go to the top. You can pick a different team. Right there. Select colleges. You can pick any team you want and go look at their depth chart. Now, is this website 100% accurate? No, it is not. You need Rico. Rico knows. But that's what you do. So he's third string at Bama. Thanks for asking. I might have 70 cents in the ashtray of the car. Oh, shout out to you. Hey, Rico, just got back from doing my football workout. The best drills to get lighter feet is jumping jacks. It helps me so much. So we call those side straddle hops in the Army. But I don't think that's the best workout. But I can tell you this. We won 2 world wars on push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, and some running. No CrossFit, no P90X, no none of this fancy shit. We won 2 world wars on push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, and a light jog. And some ruck marching. Put on a backpack and start walking. We won 2 world wars. So I don't want to hear nothing else. We don't need all the fancy stretching. I hate 30 minutes of warm-up stretching and all this shit. I hate all of it. You don't want to mess with me, man. We get to work. I get out there in the morning with my soldiers. We got to work out. They're like, Top, we got to stretch. All right, stretch. You got 2 minutes. We're about to break you. I got an hour. I'm breaking you off, bruh. We're going to die today. That's what I always tell them. We're going to die today. I'd rather us die here than out on the battlefield. So we're going to die in our workouts. We're going to push ourselves so hard we can't work out anymore. We just muscle fatigue, muscle failure. Man, you know how many times my guys had rhabdo? I'm not proud of it. My guys get rhabdo and have to go to rhabdomyolysis or whatever it is, where your muscles start to deteriorate and atrophy. It's a real thing. Yep, it's happened a few times. How could Jordan Anthony enter the portal after it closed? So, couple of ways. Number one, he can declare that he's entering, let the world know he's entering, but he can't. He won't be able to enter until next winter. So he just let everybody know, but he's not in there. That's one way. Another way, he didn't graduate. He could be willing to transfer and not get a waiver for immediate eligibility. It can happen. You're not going to play. You got a red shirt at that point. You got to lose a year of eligibility. So there's nobody saying you can't transfer. You just won't be allowed to play right away. Right? Nobody's holding you hostage. You can just leave the school. You can unenroll in classes and roll out. Everybody has it. It's America. You can do what you want to do. You got to face the consequences of your actions. Or it could have been that he was in the portal the whole time and the website's just updated it. How about that? How about he's been in the portal and the website's finally got around to updating it and he jumped in the portal before the deadline? They just didn't put it on the... Look, I'm talking about it tonight. They haven't updated shit. They keep saying all these guys are in the portal. They're not in the portal. They've been out of the portal for months. They're enrolled at other schools. The websites don't know what they're doing. Troy Franklin is the Oregon wide receiver, number 1. Very, very good. I didn't comment about Troy, though, just telling you who he is. Oh. Okay. If you think that the number 1 wide receiver at Oregon is Troy Franklin, and I didn't know who he is, we're having a hell of a time. Sometimes sarcasm just goes right past you guys. I appreciate you, DH. I do. My burner count. You're right, but they have depth at offensive line with the big bodies they brought. They just need to hit the weights and get stronger. As far as defense linemen, they got a lot of them. This is very true, Chris. I might not know, but Rico knows. Enjoying the knowledge, outstanding. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Norman Tucker. I appreciate you, brother. Defensive end aren't supposed to be bulky like offensive linemen or defensive tackles. They have enough size at all positions. Correct. It's really important people understand the defensive end position has evolved over the last 10 years, even in the NFL. You don't want to come across let me think of who's the guy that was with the Broncos. Von Miller. Von Miller's not very big. Everybody saw, oh my goodness, you can get sacks being like Von Miller? Yeah, because the offensive tackles got way too big that you can now get around them. You can turn the corner. You can bend the edge. You can get around these offensive. You can't bull rush them, but you can get around them. And that's why that's why they call him edge now. They call him edge instead of outside linebacker, defensive end. They just go edge. A lot of it has to do with franchise players. I just want you guys to know this. It has to do with the NFL franchise tag. Because outside linebackers don't make as much as defensive ends. So if you want to franchise tag a player, he gets the 5-year average of the 5 highest players, or he gets the average of the 5 highest players paid at that position, right? So if you're a defensive end and your team labels you an outside linebacker, well, now you're franchised as an outside linebacker. Now you get the top 5 paychecks of those linebackers, not the defensive end. It's a problem. This was happening to fullbacks. You can't franchise a fullback. Well, what is he listed? Well, he's listed a fullback. Well, what's the 5 highest paid fullbacks? I don't know. Every fullback wants to be labeled a what? A tight end or a running back in case they get franchised. There's a whole thing there, guys. There's a whole thing there. It's crazy. It's bananas. And it's because they want these like different positions labeled. And the Players Association doesn't have them all that finite. Just so you know, that's why they came out with edge. No sound. Oh, I have no sound? You guys can't hear me? Do you think Michigan and Ohio State should move the game to mid-season because of the new rules? Best 2 teams go to the conference chip, and they'll be playing each other 2 weeks in a row. I'm not sure if they yeah, I don't think they should move it. And I don't think they're going to be the best 2 teams in there. I think with USC coming in, with the emergence of other programs, yeah, Michigan and Ohio State are not the 2 best teams every single year. I don't think it hurts them at all. What do you think? I'm sorry, I messed up my chat here. What do you think about Jonathan Perkins from Oklahoma? He just transferred to Marshall. Yeah, I don't think a whole lot about him. You know, when I see somebody leave Oklahoma to go to Marshall, I think, well, he couldn't play there. And he's going to go get an opportunity to play at Marshall. But he couldn't play at Oklahoma. That's what I think when I see it. You ask me what I think? That's what I think. My best friend played at Northern Colorado. Shout out to them. So I know about the altitude. I've followed Colorado Rockies, Denver Broncos. Okay, Rico, can you give me an update on how the USC wide receiver transfers are doing? Really wish C.J. Williams and Kyle Ford would have worked out here. So, yeah, C.J. Williams is killing it at Wisconsin. Gary Bryant Jr. is in the rotation at Oregon, and Kyle Ford is in the rotation at UCLA. They're all doing just fine. We'll see what happens in the season. Is Will Stein an upgrade from Dylan Cunningham at Oregon? I don't know. I owe you an answer. I don't know. That's a very obscure question for me. I apologize. I owe you an answer. I'll never bullshit you. See me tomorrow. Keep reading. I'm not talking about the starters. I was talking about past the top 40 players. You're reading the chat from 30 minutes ago. Burner account. Yes, I am. That's what I do. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. If you don't like how I get down, bro, roll out. I'm not going to miss you. I didn't know you were here. What up, Rico? I'm for real. Rico Ed Bambino has Power 5 talent. Okay, I got you. I'm not blowing you off. Big Bino. Big Bino, are you related to Ed Bambino? Are you related? If you're related, just be like, yo, Rico, you need to see my son, Ed Bambino Jr. Your name is Big Bino. I'm assuming you're related to Ed Bambino. Put your son on. Put your nephew on. Whoever. Get in my chat. Go to my TikTok. Send me a DM. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. How many scholarships does Colorado have available? I don't think they have any. Confirmation bias is what drives most of the comments. 100%. Asians, thank you very much. Fight predictions for tomorrow. I give no fight predictions. I just watch the fights and enjoy them. I give no fight predictions. And the reason is I know you mother effers are out there betting on whatever I say. I say something, you guys go put money on it, and I'm making a bunch of people money, and I'm not getting any cut of it. Can't do it. I'm not giving no predictions. Shout out to you, Sean B. I'll be on to watch the fights. I do way more than jumping jacks, obviously. I hear you. We need a sarcasm font. Shout out to you. Do they still have the young man who passed away on their site, or have they updated since you called them out? I don't want to double check. I'll leave it alone. We'll let him RIP. But Robert Morris, I wouldn't put it past them that they do not have it updated. I wouldn't put it past them. I can scroll up a little bit and just go check real quick. Don't want to click anywhere. There is Jaden Hullaby, RIP. He is still passed away. They still have him in the transfer portal. He's right there. Jaden Hullaby. Former Texas football player, former New Mexico Lobo, still in the portal. There you have it. Shout out to you. They're still 8 up. They still don't know what they're doing. Isn't that sad? They got a dead guy in the portal, and nobody cares. They got a dead guy in the portal, and no one cares. Oh, yeah. I'm 100% on everything, Steve. Shout out to you. I'm going to stop right there, go back to hey, speaking of a dead guy in the portal, Quintel Jones will be in this portal for the rest of his life. Quintel Jones went to Kentucky last year, 3-star kid, arrested on battery charges. His brother was arrested on murder charges. He battered the guy that his brother murdered. Let's make this clear. It's a 37-year-old man. They're from Georgia, Peach County, Georgia. Shout out to 3A Peach County. 6'2", 315. I don't care what size he is. The man got arrested for battery charges in connection to a murder. His brother's still in jail. Charges were not dropped. He's in the portal because UK don't want anything to do with him. Murder. Speaking of murder. Murder. Savion Collins. This is why these kids need to just be careful, man. Savion Collins from Miami area. I want to say he's from Homestead. He's from Homestead. Shout out to First 48. But Savion Collins was once committed to Miami. He's going to go to Miami. And then back in COVID, 2020, 2021 timeframe, he decommits from Miami and he goes to FIU. And you'd think, man, this is a stud defensive lineman. Picked FIU. Somebody check how much NIL this kid's getting. And he couldn't play at FIU. 6'4", 290. It's a perfect walk-on candidate for Colorado. If he believes in himself and he thinks he can do it, perfect walk-on. He's got the right size, but he couldn't play at FIU, bro. Can you play at Colorado? I don't think so. Oh, but hey, he's at Florida. He's that Florida kid. You know, he got that Florida in him. All right. Zach Edwards at Louisville hit the transfer portal. Zach Edwards, hey, he's a little light in the ass, y'all. 6'3", 245. Not a they say defensive lineman here. He's an edge rusher. He's a Mississippi kid. Played in 8 games in 2 years. Made 3 tackles. He's just been a role player. I don't know where. I think he's an FCS level talent. There's going to be an I Am Right video on this. I think he's an FCS level talent. I already talked about these guys. Hey, their website, they repeat the guys again. Shout out to 24/7 Sports. They repeat the same guys. I already talked about all these guys. It's gross, bro. It's gross. I already talked about every single one of these. I just talked about these guys. Look at that. There's Zach. I just talked about them. This website's great. This website's amazing. Somebody get me a Snickers. Zion Angelo Shockley leaving Maryland. This is a St. Francis kid. St. Francis Academy. Shout out to Biff Poggi. So obviously he hits the transfer portal. If you're a St. Francis Academy player and you hit the transfer portal, you're going to Charlotte. That's where you're going. We know this. I've already done this many times over. I'm not going to pull it up, but Charlotte has signed 30 players from Francis Academy, St. Francis Academy. So, yeah, that's where he's going. He's not in the portal. He's at Charlotte. He's been at practice for 3 months. Shout out to 24/7 Sports for not giving a shit. Kobe Pepe, USC, defensive lineman. Kobe is 6'2", 320. Perfect walk-on material, but he's a graduate transfer. It's his last year. Total bust. I'm going to say it. He's a bust. He's a 3-star kid, but he's still a bust. He went to St. John Bosco. That's where he played high school football. The powerhouse of St. John Bosco. Got all these accolades, all this shit. Goes to USC. 3 games in 4 years. 3 games in 4 years. He is not him. I don't know where he goes to play. He needs to go to Sacramento State or go to Hawaii. Go to Hawaii. Timmy Chang needs you. Timmy Chang needs you bad. Daniel Robledo, he's actually from Tucson, Arizona. He went to Missouri for a while. He's got 2 years of eligibility left, but he just transferred to Northern Arizona, NAU. But here's the thing about Daniel. He was a JUCO guy. He was on Last Chance U. He's a JUCO guy from East LA Community College, whatever. ELCA, L-E-A-L-C, whatever. So Elk. Yeah, so he just never amounted to anything. Here's what I want to say about these websites. They're so ridiculous. They said Daniel Robledo here was the number 1 defensive lineman coming out of JUCO 2 years ago. So 2 years in a row, they got it completely wrong. They had Emba, that other guy, he just transferred from Auburn to Purdue this year, never played. And then Robledo never played. They keep telling me the number 1 defensive end in JUCO is going to the SEC. These guys can't even play football. They're not even seeing the field. It's a damn shame, bruh. It's a damn shame. Eric Burton ain't even American. He's from Germany. He's got 4 years of eligibility left. He's got 2 offers. He had App State. I don't think they have any more scholarships available. So now I think he's going to Eastern Kentucky. That's the only offer on the table he's got. 6'5", 225. And then Mosai Newsome here. He is already at practice, already at school. He committed to FCS North Dakota or South Dakota. The Red Paw. Not South Dakota State, South Dakota. So that's all I want to tell. There's no defensive lineman available that's worth a damn as far as I'm concerned. There's probably more if I dig deeper. One thing I want to talk about was Clyde Pinder. This is what he looks like. Remember I told you the 6 foot, 300-pound dude? He's all muscle, bruh. This is his father's Twitter page, by the way. I went to his father. You see that? Clyde Pinder Sr., father to Clyde Pinder Jr. Look, this man, I just don't want to see his toes, bro. But he weighs 295, and he's yoked. Look at this. You guys, oh, man, they don't look very strong. They don't look very big. Well, this guy does. Looks like he's been eating weights. Shout out to him. And here's the kid who flipped from Western Kentucky earlier this month. Now he's committed to Southern out of nowhere. I had to go search Twitter for this shit, bro. You guys make me dig deep to find my answers and know who I'm talking about. So shout out to me. We'll go back to chat, and then we'll close it out. Shout out to you guys for kicking with me on a Friday night. I really appreciate you guys. We got 73 likes. That's a lot of likes for us. It is what it is. So let's go back over here. Yo, Rico. Babino, shout out to you. Nah, Ed is my brother. The call out is crazy. What I tell you, Big Babino? Hey, I caught this fool slipping, bruh. You can't do this. I'm a gangster. I'll make a video on him when I get a chance. What do you think about Aiden Childs at Oregon? I don't. Michigan, OSU, no matter. If they move it, should play a night game. It would be the most electrifying game. That would be pretty cool. I'm cool with night games. Did you see Theo Ash's take on Dalvin Cook? I don't watch Theo Ash's content. I did go in there and write a comment. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the whole thing. He said he was the worst running back or something like that. Look, it's not a hot take. Running backs don't play past the age of 30. I wouldn't sign Dalvin Cook to any team. I wouldn't sign any running back to a second contract. Go get rookies. Go get fresh legs. Get them at much cheaper prices. But I'm not paying any amount of money for an old running back that's getting towards the age of 30. Running backs don't play beyond 30. They don't. The last guy to rush for over 1,000 yards over 30 was a Hall of Famer in Frank Gore. No one else is doing it. Do not go there. They're not playing past 30. And that was in 2019. It's just not happening anymore. Running backs are young, fresh legs, and you can get one in the 7th round or undrafted. I'd rather have Keaton Mitchell, who did not get drafted and is in camp right now with the Ravens, than Dalvin Cook. No, thank you. Same with Ezekiel Elliott. Don't want either one of these guys, not for those prices. Not for the league minimum. I don't want them. Go to the XFL and enjoy your $50,000. Move on. Bro, why are you getting smart? I'm just clarifying why you're lost about what I'm talking about. Burner account. You're not welcome here, bro. You're not welcome here. It's that simple. You're not a believer. You're not in here. If you're not in here and you don't believe in me, you shouldn't be here. This whole thing is about believing in me. Like, that's what the whole thing's about. Rico Knows. That's what it's called, bro. And you're sitting here telling me I don't know what you're talking about? I forgot what you're talking about. Forget that I don't know it. I forgot it. I accidentally know more about it than you do. Whatever the topic is. Damn, I want a free parlay. Not happening, Sean. This is the slowest offseason in a while. No, it's amazing. You don't live in the transfer portal world. This is the greatest offseason in a while. This is the best offseason that there's ever been. What are you talking about? Slowest offseason in a while. You don't get up excited every day and check the transfer portal. You don't get up excited every day and check my TikTok. You don't get up excited every day and check the content I'm creating. Then yes, your life is dragging and you hate it. It's what it is. Is Alan Bowman going to start at Oklahoma State? I would imagine so. Fastest D lineman in the transfer portal. Blunts on Paper podcast. Shout out to you, DJ. I do not know the fastest defensive lineman in the transfer portal. I would have to sit down and really look for it. I'd imagine the kid who played wide receiver in high school. He's probably pretty fast. I liked his tape. Trying to remember what. Let me go. Navarrete from Oregon. Jaden Navarrete or whatever from Oregon. 4-star. 6'3", 230 pounds. Played wide receiver in high school. Probably the fastest defensive lineman I've seen on tape. Does the speedster Tyler Harrell play at Miami? I think he starts. Tyler Harrell almost averaged 30 yards a catch before he went to Bama when he was at Louisville. 30 yards a reception. He had like 20 receptions, 600 yards. Like Tyler Harrell is for real. Deep speed for if you guys want to see the fastest player, one of the fastest players in the transfer portal, one of them, Tyler Harrell's in the top 10 for sure. I should probably make that video. The 10 fastest players that in the transfer portal or that transferred this season. I think I'm going to do that video. 10 fastest transfer portal players. That'd be pretty cool, huh? Harrell makes the list. He's that fast. Can you give me one huge breakout player for this season and a very underrated player coming into this season? So one huge breakout player this season, breakout meaning he hasn't broken out yet. It's a guy I'm going to make a video on soon. I don't want to give you him. I don't want to give you him because I'm going to make a video on it. An underrated player coming into this season. Underrated player, Braylon Presley at Tulsa. He looks like Barry Sanders on tape. He just transferred from Oklahoma State. Go look up Braylon Presley. Just look up his huddle film. Braylon Presley. I'll spell the name for you guys. So you guys, I'm serious. Go watch his tape. Braylon Presley. He never lost a game in high school. I think this is how it's spelled. Presley. Or it could be like that. Braylon Presley is the truth. Go look at his tape. You'll love what you see. Rico, what is your favorite college football game of all time? Oklahoma losing to Boise State in double overtime. Or was it overtime? I was at the game. Fiesta Bowl. I was at the game. Statue of Liberty. Hook and ladder to Jared Rabb. Jared Zabransky. Ian Johnson proposing to his fiance after the game. It was in Phoenix. I lived in Arizona. I had a shirt, merch from the game. Yep, that's the one. Boise State, Oklahoma. Rico, how do you feel on Dylan Raiola to Buford allegations in Georgia? Hey, Paul Bowling, thank you for the tip. I don't worry about allegations, rumors, or anything. Obviously, there was an issue with Jake Garcia years ago. Transfers occur all over the damn country. They occur all over Georgia, right? How did Justice Haynes get there last year? Kids were transferring to North Cobb to go play with Singleton. Kids are transferring to Hughes to go play with Aaron Nolan. Somebody's transferring to Carrollton to go play with Juju Lewis. Like, it's just going to happen. There's good players everywhere. How the hell did that team get together at Mill Creek? This isn't happening by accident, right? Travis Hunter and Sam Horn didn't just magically end up at Collins Hill, and it was just dumb luck that it was two Division I players together at quarterback and wide receiver. Recruiting's happening everywhere. It is what it is. Serious question. Are all teams still signing kids to other sports scholarships to get around the limit, i.e. track, rowing, whatever? Know that they used to be very common. Steve, I'm unaware of this happening. So I couldn't speak on it. Hey, Rico, are you concerned with Shador running Sean Lewis's, it's the wrong way to spell Sean, S-E-A-N, pass run option, Kent State offense? No, Tone White, no. Sean Lewis knows what his personnel is. Shador's not running the rock. It's not going down like that. I thought you were only allowed one transfer and one when you were in grad school. How's everyone transferring hella? Black Mons. So you're allowed. Let me make this very clear. You're allowed as many transfers as you want. You're allowed as many transfers as you want. The thing is, after you transfer, the NCAA, you have to petition them for a waiver of immediate eligibility. If you don't do that, you have to sit out a year. That still exists. The waiver will be granted for immediate eligibility the first time, no questions asked. So that's the first transfer everybody's talking about. Your undergraduate transfer, you're allowed to do it no matter what, and you will get immediate eligibility. Now, if your coach gets hired or fired, everybody on the team has 30 days to enter the transfer portal. They can do that at any time. So if your head coach gets fired, everybody on the team gets a free transfer if they want it, or they can stay, right? So that's the other second way. Then there's the third way, which is your graduate transfer. You can transfer whenever you want. Now, the theory is the NCAA doesn't want to stop kids from transferring, so they have now been approving undergraduate transfers ad nauseum. Like, it doesn't even matter. They're just doing them all. Anybody on a second transfer, shout out to JT Daniels, shout out to 100 kids who have been transferring for a second time or a third time, they're approving it, right? Well, then the rule got changed. And the rule is starting next season, you can't transfer again after that initial transfer. Or you can always transfer. You won't get the waiver approved. So you won't be able to play. You'll have to miss a year of eligibility. Now, coaches and players are daring the NCAA to implement that rule. In other words, the rule exists. They said they're going to do it, but they haven't done it yet. So players are still transferring. Like, it doesn't matter. And the NCAA has not denied these waivers. Everybody's getting immediate waivers to play. There's even one kid, he got a waiver. I mean, I forgot what it was called. It's a special kind of waiver. I read up on it. I couldn't believe it. It's super rare. And he got that approved too. It was like when the coaches make a false promise to you and you can prove that the coaches falsely promised something to you, you get like your year of eligibility back. You don't even have to redshirt. Like, you get your whole thing back. And he got that. It was like a broken promises waiver or something. And he got it approved. I forget the name of it right now. But, yeah, and it was by Dino Babers and them boys at Syracuse. True story. So anyways, I just got a text message. We're about to wrap this up, y'all. Let me get back up here. Everybody's here. But yeah, that's how the transfers are going. Thank you. Shout out to you. Who are you looking at as the best matchup week 1 in the FBS? So there's week 0 and there's week 1. I've made videos about this already. So go find the videos. My life ain't dragging. I said it's a slow off season, not a bad one. No, I say it's not slow. It's rapid every day. It's awesome. If they only talk about Colorado every day, I agree. I talk about everybody. DeMarco Murray, Ezekiel Elliott, both former Dallas Cowboys running backs, ruin the running back market for future prospects. Running back position might go bust soon if they keep getting disrespected. I'm going to text you on TikTok. Okay, send a DM. Are you taking Kim to dinner? Kim doesn't live anywhere near me, Willie Bobo. Kim lives in Virginia, about 7 hours away, so I'm not taking her to dinner. No, she usually provides me with dinner. She does Uber Eats or something and has dinner delivered, so I don't ever have to leave the house. Who's the fastest wide receiver in college football? Aaron Smith, wide receiver at Georgia, ran a 100 meters. Rico, a player I think you would love is Rod Moore, just an absolute baller. Are we talking about? Okay. Any team still looking for a starting quarterback in the portal like Bama was? I don't know. If you're looking for a starting quarterback, it's way too late. It's way too late. Shador, I wish some teams got quarterbacks, but it's way too late. Shador aren't a runner, but he can make plays with his legs. Yeah. In a perfect world, would you rather have the draft or free agency come first? I know in the NFL it's free agency, and in the NBA it's the draft. Curious as your thoughts. Yeah, I don't care. In a perfect world, I'd rather no one hit free agency. I'd rather them stay there and become great on their team that drafted them. Watch out for Jaden Bray at Oklahoma State. Was hurt all season last year. People forgot about him, 1,000-yard guy this year. I didn't forget about Jaden Bray. I got you. I didn't forget about Jaden Bray. Obviously, others are there. Hey, guys, love talking to everybody on a Friday night. Thanks for being here. Hey, your friends don't know the truth. We know the truth. And if you don't know the answer to a question, just remember, Rico knows.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do, to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just know passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe